And the first thing we'll see is a little cube sitting here. We also got a sort of lamp up here. Now to sort of orbit around in our 3D view, I'm going to use the middle mouse button to orbit around. Shift middle mouse will allow you to sort of pan across. Okay, and if you want to zoom in, you can use your wheel if you have one on your middle mouse button, or you can use Shift Control Shift with the middle mouse button, and you can move in and out. Okay, so let's start with a different piece of geometry. So we've got a simple cube. To delete our cube, we can hit delete, or we can hit X. Say OK to delete that. Now let's bring in a cylinder shape. Now to do that, we're going to come over here to the left. We're going to go to Create, and then you'll see there are a bunch of different meshes here that we can use. So let's go ahead and create a cylinder. Now you'll see right down here we have the ability to come in and change, and where it says vertices, that's kind of the resolution going around. So depending on what yours is, I'm going to set mine to 16. Yours is probably set up to maybe 32 or so. So you can see how we can increase that and make it a lot smoother. But you want to have fewer points in this case because we want to be able to manipulate it and not have to worry about all of those points. So you can change that. We can also take the radius down a little bit. Okay, the depth will allow you to change sort of the height of it, so we can make it a little bit longer. Okay, for the cap fill, this is the cap here and on the bottom, and this kind of determines the kinds of polygons that it uses to fill the cap. If you choose nothing, it's going to leave that open. Okay, let's choose N-gon, and what that's going to do is it's going to just leave this as one big piece of geometry and not create all the triangles. So that's what we want in this case. We're not going to leave it like that. Now we also can come down here to rotation, and you can see we can rotate it in different axes. So I'm going to set the Y rotation to 90 degrees, so it's sort of laying on its side. Okay, now we're in object mode right now, so we could move our object around just by clicking and dragging on the object. Okay, we can also, if we right click, we can move it, and then if we right click again, it'll actually pop back, or we can left click to place it. I want to leave it right at the center though, and I want to add a little bit more resolution. So to do that, we need to go from object mode into edit mode. Okay, so you can see there we can access that. We can also hit the tab key to go back and forth. So with edit mode, you can see that right now we have a bunch of stuff selected. You can tell what you're selecting down here by using this filter. So we've got points, edges, and faces. If you hit the A key, it'll either select everything or deselect everything. So you can see I've got everything now deselected. And this shows you the actual resolution, which we don't have a lot of points there. So let's say we want to add some points. Well, we can use Control R to do that, but let's show you what that actually does. We're going to go to our faces, and you can see the little dots come up here. Let's go to Tools, and we want to activate Loop Cut and Slide. So you can hit this button, or you can hit Control R, and you can see it gives you a little preview line right in the center. So if I click that once, that'll allow me to drag it across and place it. Okay, so maybe I want to put one right in here. Now if I do that again, Control R, and instead of clicking, I use my scroll wheel, I can change the number. So if I want to put in a few more, I can go ahead and do that. Now it lets me move those around, and now I've got those lines added in. Now what we can do is start to move these around, okay, and reshape things. So I'm going to hit Control-Alt-Q, and we can come into the front view here. And I want to turn on wireframe. Okay, so I can display it as a wire, and I want to select the points. I'll hit A to deselect, and now I want to be able to select all the way around, like a lasso select. So let me zoom in here. So I'm going to use Control left mouse button with wireframe on, and you can see that selects the entire loop there. So at this point, let's do some shaping on this. So hit S and then drag your mouse to scale and click when you're ready. and then I'll drop everything by hitting A, and then Control left mouse button to select the next one. S will allow you to quickly scale. A to drop everything, and we'll just do the whole thing here like that. And we'll kind of give it a little bit of a taper. So Control, drag around. We'll just kind of taper this down a bit. And as we go through this process, don't feel like you have to make it look exactly like what I'm doing. Have a little fun with it and really customize it for what you want it to look like. Okay, the main thing is that kind of getting an idea of how to go through this process from start to finish. You can also come in here and move things around. You can see right down here we can move, rotate, or scale in addition to hitting those buttons. G will also allow you to move things around like that, or we can just grab this and move it up. So let's move this up. I'm going to grab that and kind of move it up. And I want part of this guy to be sort of sitting on the ground. And so I'll kind of take this up a little bit. Kind of move that back a bit. You can kind of look around and see what that looks like. Now I want this to be sort of on the ground. And so let's take this whole loop and kind of move that down. We'll do the same thing here. You can maybe scale it down a little bit more even. And let's pull this down a little bit too. Now we missed one kind of up here. So let's kind of move that over a little bit. Okay, so we get something kind of like that. So let's go ahead in the next lesson and take a look at blocking in or completing the tail and also starting the head of the character. So we'll do that next.